We invest so much of our time thinking about the past and immersed in the emotions from those memories, as well as in fear and anxiety about what or what might not happen in the future. And as a result, we are prisoner to our mental stories and have so little energy and attention left to focus on the now. So what if you felt bliss in the present? What if you felt peace about the past and excitement about the future instead? If you could focus on what's right in front of you right now, you can forge a new road ahead, much freer from obstacles and much fuller of opportunity. So let's separate the wheat from the chaff so you can steer yourself into the direction you really want, absolutely on purpose. You are listening to the Thriving Empire podcast, a show designed exclusively to help you avoid working 24/7, to help you eliminate overwhelm, and help you live your ultimate life while you figure out how to make money from your ideas. This show should be your number one resource for no-brainer strategies, tactics, and tips for launching your ideas with more ease, vision, and freedom so that you can change the world drama-free. I'm your host, Stephanie Holland, strategist, traveler, and coconut macaroon addict. Welcome to Season 2, Kickstart Your Mini Empire so that you can create the life you really want. So let's get started. Well, hello. So how are you? What's happening? In 10 days, I'm heading home to London and I could not be more excited. I'm staying in my hometown of Wimbledon, which is close to all my favorite restaurants and cafes and woodlands, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I am just by the skin of my teeth missing the mayhem of Wimbledon, a tennis fortnight, which I'm really, really happy about. So there's so much I want to do and get done. There's so many people I want to see. There's a few products I want to get my hands on that I can't buy in Central America. Things like shatavari powder, which is asparagus root powder, which I love, which has changed my life over the last 5 years, and some good new headphones so that I can record podcasts for you. And so I've been doing lots of brainstorming, planning, and scheduling to make things happen, to make sure I get all of this done while I'm there. So I've been making dozens of lists, I've been actioning them, ripping them up, and feeling really organized. And of course, I've scheduled a ton of space for chilling and working on my third book, which I'm very excited about. I've just actually upgraded to the latest version of Scrivener, which is the online tool, the online platform I use to write my second book. So I'm really ready to get started on the third one, and that'll be my priority project while I'm home for 3 weeks. It's so cool. And I'm also really excited about playing around at the Bobbi Brown makeup counter at the department store. Actually, this is the place where I had my first Saturday job. I worked in a bridal boutique to earn money for petrol for my first car when I was 17. Boy, that car represented my first taste of real freedom and independence, and I absolutely loved working and earning money to fuel it. I find it really interesting that everything we do is fuel for something. Eating, working, living, all of it, fuel for something. Anyway, so I realized while I was organizing and planning my imminent trip that one of the ways I stay really present and focused on what's right in front of me is by doing daily brain dumps, daily brainstorms. I started this many years ago, actually, as a way just to clear out of my mind. So that I could clear out of my mind, but just a way to clear out my mind in general. And last year, Brooke Castillo referred to it as mental hygiene, and I really love this concept. So just like you clean your teeth every day, why not clean out your mind every day? And then 2 years ago, I read The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. You may have heard of it. It's very, very good. And I began doing what she calls morning pages for 12 weeks, which I also loved. So that is a process of writing a stream of consciousness for 3 pages, just whatever thoughts, feelings, ideas, and to-dos come into your mind, just writing it all down. And then I started just looking at that list and then managing, organizing, and scheduling everything on it, and then ripping it up and putting it in the bin. Now, a lot of people love to keep these writings and, mental meanderings, but I'm really, I'm not one for journaling. I found that very boring anyway. And also reading through my journal notes, it was just like, kill me now. I do not want to read what I was thinking 3 years ago. It's just, I don't know. Some people love that. I just don't. And also I travel with a carry-on case. So keeping large paper notebooks with me is not really part of my paper-free, tree-loving lifestyle. And I just really love the process of ripping up my thoughts because I know that they are being handled and leaving me to start fresh every day with a clean slate. So I write it down, action it, rip it up, love it. So I think this process in general, if you can find a way for it to work for you like I've done, is a really great and really simple way to organize your life. So because you know what you need to buy, do, schedule, and plan. There's nothing left in your beautiful mind hijacking your headspace, and it leaves you free to focus and think and make and create other things. So it's also, I find, a wonderful way to heal pain and suffering so that you can move forward, because you can really literally see on the page what's bothering you. You can literally use it to make peace with the past, so you're free to get excited about the future. And I think it's just a beautiful way to uncover what's holding you back emotionally and mentally right now, so that you can fix it, deal with it, handle it, manage it, move on. According to Martha Beck, now I'm currently reading her book, which is really quite lovely. It's called Finding Your Way. And in this morning, I read that our emotions occur in 90-second waves. So actually feeling any emotion deeply means it will pass right through you in 90-second flats, which I find fascinating, because our instinct is to push that feeling down with busyness or food or conversation with other people. So if we instead just felt that emotion deeply, that fear, that anxiety, that anger, that pain, we can let it flow through us in 90 seconds, and then it will be gone. So that gripe you're holding onto from 10 years ago, or that anger from 20 years ago, or that conversation that annoyed you 5 days ago, feel that emotion, whatever it is, and let it wash right through you. I can't believe that they don't teach us this in school. It's really quite amazing. So this process of writing down your daily thoughts is also a nice way of unearthing those emotions that are bothering you. And then if you actually just take the time to just feel it all the way through for 90 seconds, it will leave your body and your life. Quite amazing. So the most powerful aspect, I think, of daily brain dumping is that when you clear out what's in your verbal thinking brain, that part that we express with words, then the non-verbal part of our brain is freed up to tune into what we really want to do, make, create, and be. It really unlocks our dreaming and creativity and full power to dream and create on autopilot. So as well as being organized and efficient day to day, when we practice this idea of brain dumping long term, we also uncover that really amazing stuff deep within us that's bursting to come out. So that's the stuff that makes and creates things. And we're also free to focus much more on the comfort and calm of the now, because our mental stories about the past and the future are no longer hijacking our headspace. So the way I use my daily brain dump now is by writing for 15 minutes nonstop. I set the timer and I just dump everything in my brain, even if it's a repeat from yesterday, onto paper. So the repetition actually is really useful. So some people are just like, oh yeah, but I never write anything new. I find that useful because then I know that ideas that I keep having for new projects and books and courses, I know that they're good if they're constantly in my mind over longer periods of time. That's how I know how to pursue them. And likewise, the annoyances and frustrations I have repeatedly, well, they let me know that they're still there, they're still bothering me, they're still hijacking my headspace, and they need to be managed and handled differently or over the longer term. And that's totally okay. It just gives me an indication that that's what's happening. So I write down whatever comes to my mind, things that are annoying me, things that I want to accomplish this week, today's outputs, conversations from yesterday that bother me still, ideas for projects, phone calls and things, tasks, things I need to buy, what I want to make time for today, my random thoughts, spontaneous feelings of the day, literally anything and everything on my mind. So whether it's a memory of a comment in the past that still hurts or annoys me, or that we've run out of dishwashing liquid, it's written down and liberated from my headspace to be handled in some way. So I think this is a really good idea to add this as a practice as soon as you have your new schedule in place. And we talked about that in episode 31 all about how to reinvent your life in an hour by scheduling what matters most to you and really taking much more control over your weekly calendar, your weekly schedule. And then when your mind is free, you can then dedicate those time blocks that you planned in your schedule, really 100%, with 100% focused attention and energy. You can dedicate those time blocks to whatever you've assigned them to. Because the only thing that's going to stop you from being 100% focused during your time blocks, during your office hours, for example, are your unhelpful thoughts and feelings hijacking your headspace. So I want to help you find those rogue and your useful thoughts swirling around in your head so that you can handle them both, channel them both, and get all that stuff out of your beautiful mind so that you can start every day with a clean slate. So here's all you're going to do. You're going to do the biggest brain dump of your life. And it's my hope that you'll do this regularly until it becomes a daily habit. So set the timer for 20 minutes and brainstorm everything in your mind, everything that's sitting there, all your ideas and projects, all your to-dos, all your annoyances and frustrations, all the thoughts about yourself and other people that you have. So self-doubt, imposter syndrome, maybe you feel lost and confused, whatever you've run out of in the house, what you need to buy. This is especially important for me because I live 2.5 hours away from the nearest shop. So I need to buy things like Tampax and hand soap for the bathroom and things like that, because if I forget, it'll be another 10 days until I can buy that stuff. So that sort of stuff does play heavily on my mind where I'm living right now. Also, you can list your outputs for the week, your goals for the year, anything you're thinking about, all of it. So the mind, your mind specifically, is the first thing you've got to learn to manage if you want to be able to focus 100% on your ideas and projects and really just enjoy every aspect of your life and develop a sense of flow, creativity, and excitement about your life and work. And the trick here is just to keep brainstorming, brain dumping for the full 20 minutes. Because you have to give your mind the chance to find everything and set it free if you've never done it before, because there's often layers and layers and layers of stuff in there. So once you've got it down on paper, you can then create solutions and actions for your worries and concerns and schedule them in your calendar. You can categorize the things you need to do and schedule them in your calendar. You can delete from your mind and your life the to-dos that have been on your pseudo to-do list for 6 months or more, because you know at this point you're probably never going to actually get them done. So you can cross them off your list and banish them from your mind and free up your headspace. So your mind is going to feel so spacious and clean after this exercise. So for example, this week the emotions I felt were lost and confused. So yes, of course I have these emotions too, and I don't even question it. I just write it down and handle them. So I did a process of tapping on certain pressure points, which is also called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, so that I could acknowledge and release those emotions so that they can't hijack my focus. I did that for 3 days in a row. And so even if you don't have a method for managing your emotions yet, you can start asking friends, you can Google it, and you can kickstart the path to taking greater responsibility for managing your own mind and emotions. I also had to find a new web host for my websites, which came up on my brainstorm every day this week. So each day I dedicated 30 minutes to researching web hosting solutions and asking my communities and my friends for recommendations. To be honest, the idea of transferring my websites without any downtime seriously filled me with dread. So I tapped on that dread too, using the emotional freedom technique that I know. And I kept thinking about painting. I haven't painted for a while. I got round to buying canvas and paintbrushes a few weeks ago and just hadn't gotten round to it. So I finally broke out a new canvas and I'm painting again after ages. So it got me painting again, which is brilliant. And a lovely little octopus is in progress. And of course, coming up, my year-end taxes need to be done. In the UK, the year-end is April 5th, so I'm awaiting for my tax accounting online software to release the papers, and I've actually scheduled an afternoon to do that next month. So that's out of my brain, into my schedule, just like that, all handled. So at first you might be overwhelmed by everything you need to handle, schedule, and get done. But as you start doing this daily, the list will get smaller and smaller, and you'll become more efficient because you'll be in the habit of getting things out of your mind and handled in the real world as you go. So depending on your categories of to-dos, I actually recommend adding 5 more time blocks into your calendar weekly. I want you to add space for personal admin, so that might be 30 minutes a week. You add a block for that. business admin, where you need to handle all your business stuff, maybe updating your expenses or something like that. And a time block for running errands in the real world, like dry cleaning or, fueling your car or shopping, things like that. So that might be more of a 2 or 3 hour block. And then scheduling a 5-minute brain dump every morning and scheduling a master 20-minute brain dump once a week. Those are really powerful things to add into your schedule. So how about that then? How would it feel to be calm and clear right now, to be calm and comfortable in the moment, to feel at peace with the past, and to feel excitement about the future? So give it a go. If you have the Podcast Study Pack 2, you can crack open worksheet 1.5 to start feeling unstuck, certain, and excited about the future. I literally guide you through it step by step in the worksheet. And if you don't have the Podcast Study Pack yet, don't worry. You can grab a copy at stephanieholland.co/33. When you get that pack, you'll get access to a worksheet for each episode. You'll also get a masterclass lesson on how to cultivate a healthy tech life, a masterclass on how to design your ideal relationship while you're starting up, and a ton of other resources I don't share anywhere else. And I think it's a steal at $27. Now, if you don't want to invest in the study pack, but you love the show and you'd like to support the show and me, you can buy me a coffee instead, which I think is a really cool idea by a cool little startup called Ko-fi, obviously. So just head over to the show notes at stephanieholland.co/33 and you'll find a little buy me a coffee button in the sidebar or directly in the blog post. It helps me stay ad-free and caffeinated so that I can keep creating the best content for you. And if you love the show, also, you could leave me a review on iTunes, which would be so amazing. Thank you in advance for doing that. So anyway, thank you for joining me today for this episode. Again, I have loved making it for you. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode. I really appreciate you being here. Remember, you can get the podcast pack for season 2 by heading over to stephanieholland.co/podcast pack 2. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or inquiries, the best way to reach me is to DM me on Instagram via @StephTHolland, or head over to my website, stephanieholland.co, and hit up my contact form on the bottom right of the page. Your feedback points me in the right direction, so don't hesitate to get in touch. And if you enjoy the show, it would be so cool if you could rate, review, or subscribe. And if you do end up writing a review on your favorite podcasting platform and you want to pick my brain, simply send me a screenshot of your review and I'll jump on a 15-minute messenger chat with you. I've got almost 2 decades of experience in digital media and marketing strategy for the world's most formidable brands and business strategy for startups and people with awesome ideas. I'm here to help you create a rock-solid foundation for your ideas and to share simple tips for eliminating overwhelm and burnout and becoming more organized and visionary in your life and work. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and thank you again for supporting the show.